For 20 years, Somali refugees have fled their country's civil war to seek a new life here in the UK. But settling has not been easy for everyone. Official figures show that Somalis have the worst record of any immigrant community for employment and education. And now many Somali parents say their children have lost their way, consumed by Western culture. Their solution? Sending their supposedly wayward sons and daughters back to their former home to relearn traditional values and respect. They're taking advantage of a period of stability in the semi-autonomous territory of Somaliland, where the capital, Hargeisa, is a far cry from the violence of Mogadishu. Somali journalist Jamal Osman has met the returnees as they struggle to negotiate a very traditional Islamic society. For tonight's special report, he found a very different reality to the cliches of jihadi indoctrination. Teenagers bringing their British street style and some swearing, be warned, to their new home.
Of all the UK's communities, young Somalis perhaps face the biggest challenge. They have some of the worst records in education, employment and youth crime.
Do you know any friends who got into trouble?
Half of them are in prison.
Yeah, half are in
Half of your friends are in prison?
Mostly Somaliland as well.
They find themselves alienated from traditional Somali culture, but not fitting into British society either.
This country is just, when you get mixed with the wrong people, that's when it fails, innit? So I don't know many people that have succeeded in life, like got a job in that.
Their parents are in despair. Hundreds of them have decided the best thing to do is to send their children back to Somalia. Abdi Ali is one of them. He was worried about his 20-year-old son Hassan hanging around with the wrong crowd.
There were lots of youngsters around his age, some older. As they were growing up, they were getting into groups and even fighting each other. He was young and impressionable, so he could have gone in any direction. So I wanted him to experience Somalia.
I wanted to find out what Hassan was learning over there, so I went to meet him.
Africa's alright, blood. Africa's alright. Don't be thinking Africa's dead. This place is actually better than I thought it was going to be. Like everyone else thinks before they get here. Gaza, that's what I thought. You don't even need license to drive, bruv. So you do your thing here.
Hassan has been out in Somaliland for nearly a year, and he's loving it.
Freedom, wow. You got a lot of freedom here. You can be out late. No one's going to worry about you, but in England, if you're out late, your mom's always thinking the worst case.
He and his friends say what they appreciate most is the traditional culture.
To the girls. Lighties, brownies, you get everything in it. I'd advise young people to come here, because young people do get in trouble. And here, if you get into trouble, it's easy for you to get out.
It's a long way from where he grew up in Sheffield and the gangs, drugs and crime. Hassan's main worry here is being overcharged as a tourist.
Was he trying to rip me off? Before you try to rip me off.
His new home is Hargeisa. It's the capital of Somaliland, a peaceful region of Somalia. It feels far from the war in the south between the Islamists and the Western-backed troops. And Hassan feels a lot safer here than in the UK.
It's like the civilians are police. So that's what makes you feel safe. If anything happens to you, you've always got help around.
Local residents say more and more British youngsters are coming to Hargeisa. So many, in fact, that they even have a word for them, like an alis, which loosely translates the rehabilitation community.
Hassan regularly meets up with some other members of the rehab community
That's there, innit?
to help each other adapt to the Somali way of life. Even the way they dress can give the wrong impression.
There's that thing where if you see a girl on road with a hijab, you're going to think she's a good girl, allow her, right? Yeah. If you see a girl on road with her hair showing or some tight jeans, you automatically think, right, she's on it. Yeah, exactly. So it took me time to actually realize that, like, I'm not that kind of girl, but that's the image I'm giving without me realizing it. Yeah.
But they are all loving their new status here.
I'd say we were middle class there, but we're upper class here.
No, we're not even middle class, man. We're...
Who has that?
Yeah. Now you have high class, middle class, then low class, then black class. Black African class. We're like the bottom down there, but here we're the top.
The money their parents sent from the UK funds a more privileged lifestyle in Hargeisa. Privileged, upper class, but not yet accepted as part of society. Hassan tries to get his Baba to understand.
So you say in that like piss-taking way, like taking the mick way, huh? Like they're looking at you like, how can you not know your culture? Like them kind of looks.
But are they wrong or right to say that?
It's not wrong that they're saying it, but then again, it's not our fault. It's because we don't live here.
I'll take you to a spot where we play, we chill, play pool, play basketball, gym.
Take you there right now.
Take you there right now.
So we do it in England. This is what we do in England. This is what we do in England. You're not telling us.
This centre is run by Fatima Saeed, the unofficial chief of the rehabilitation clan.
The youth love it. It's one of their best pastimes, and we're hoping to be able to hold the very first snooker tournament in Somaliland.
She grew up in Cardiff and knows what it is like to arrive here from the UK.
They can spot the child that comes from the UK or from Sweden or from abroad. It's just a body language thing.
Fatima runs this centre, giving them things to do, but more importantly, advice on dealing with the locals who are suspicious of them.
It's just the stigma that's attached to it. This child, why is this child coming back? You know, he's coming back because he's done something.
So the locals feel threatened by these?
Threatened, how can I say, angry in a way. They feel jealous in another way, you know.
I joined them as they went on day trips to help them get to know their motherland. Back in London, Layla loved fashion, acting and dancing, but her parents decided that was unacceptable for a Muslim girl and sent her out here.
They are your parents. They always want what's best for you. But growing up in the Western world, I didn't see it like that. I was a rebel. I was the biggest rebel. I was like, all right, if I can't have it my way, you're not going to get your way. But I didn't realize I was only harming myself. So that's what I learned. Compromise.
But one compromise she's not happy about is losing some of her freedom.
Today we're by the beach. Unfortunately, us girls can't swim because they said girls and boys can't swim together, so we're trapped in the bus and the boys are cooling off in the sea.
Sunny, 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 that's all it is around here.
And I'm being teased because I can see the water, but I'm not allowed in. In our culture, it's always like the men are in control. I grew up in a world where I've seen everybody's treated equal, fair. And then I came here and I was like, damn, it's not the same shit. I'm thinking, but why?
What makes it worse for Layla is that local girls are allowed on the beach, but girls in the rehab community are not trusted to behave.
We see other girls on the beach and we're not allowed. You think it's a personal attack, like, because you're from outside.
A visit to the caves is a better experience for Layla.
It's amazing to see our heritage and our culture. Like, not in a million years did I think there'd be paintings here from like thousands of years ago.
Las Gal has some of the oldest cave paintings in Africa.
Place looks alright. Old. Natural beauty. Natural beauty, yeah.
It makes me appreciate, like, my culture.
And this culture, which at first she didn't want to know, has given her a new direction in life.
There's some kids in the neighborhood that, for example, the parents don't have enough money to take them to school. I thought to myself, stop listening to Rihanna and, you know, doing useless things in the house. I thought to myself, get those children, bring them to the house, print stuff out from the internet, start teaching them the alphabet, numbers, greetings, things like that. You know, give them a better chance at life.
After seeing a neighbor being beaten by her husband, she's also started counseling women. How many women do you see every week?
Initially we started with 9. The second meeting, 17 women turned up. So I think it's going to grow. I would like to see Somaliland a bit like more like Britain, you know. I know it won't be like Britain, but I'm talking about in terms of fairness, women being equal, things like that.
As part of their learning, they are traveling to the countryside to experience life as a nomad, like their parents did.
They are taught the traditional dancing. In return, Layla shows them a few Western moves. Many Somali youngsters in the UK are caught between two different cultures. Not feeling British, but not Somali either.
I can't count these, man.
Coming to Somaliland, they at least understand where they came from.
Watch out. I can hear I can feel his heart beating like nothing.
That gives them confidence and a sense of place.
If you take a kid from here now and you take him to school there, that guy will work his ass off. Like me looking at this right now makes me appreciate my life. It makes me appreciate the fact that I got there.
It makes me appreciate my parents, and it makes me understand them a lot more.
Their nomadic experience ended with the ancient wisdom of the Somali poet. Layla hopes to come back to the UK soon. She really wants to go to university. Hassan says for now, Britain has nothing to offer him. He has no plans to return.
Jamal Osman with tonight's special report. And if you want to talk to him about it, you can reach him on Twitter at Jamal M. Osman.